Item number 8 is discuss and take action on request for proposal for the bank loan related to financing the clinic. And I think maybe at this point that's maybe not worded exactly correct. The building committee decided in our last meeting, and I don't have the date in front of me, to put an RFP out to see if the banks were interested in loaning this money, which we already knew that First Financial, which is our depository, was very interested in it. And I do know that Ray's gotten some comments from some of the other lenders here in town. So I guess at this point, what the building committee has came and just kind of bring you all up to speed is we looked at the blueprints, we did a walkthrough with the architect, we went down and viewed the space and what the changes would be, etc. And so the building committee is recommending to the board, Brett, Eugene, and I are on the building committee. We have decided that we would like to get the board's approval to pursue securing the funds so that we can convert what is currently our medical records section down real close to the clinic into a new doctor's office to put Dr. Fawcett in when he eventually gets here, or some other position on down the road, or however that plays out. We need more doctor space.
I will tell you that the RFP has been appropriately noticed in the newspaper for 2 weeks. I have delivered a copy of the RFP to the 3 local banks, and they've all expressed an interest in that, and I'm getting questions back from the banks, clarification on them. So I can tell you that all 3 of the local banks are interested in submitting a proposal. I have not received any other requests from banks other than the 3 local banks.
So is there any discussion?
If we get all 4 local banks.
Can't hear you.
I'm only aware of the three local banks that I've delivered RFP to is the Prosperity Bank, the Interbank, and the First Financial Bank.
There's a community bank down next to where the bank dollar has on.
All right, I will contact them tomorrow and see if they have an interest in submitting a proposal. You're right.
Right.
So I have a question here.
Okay.
So this is for a loan for the construction project.
$166,795.
So we have not approved that project yet, right?
Do what now?
We have not approved that project yet.
No.
Okay. So this is just for the loans.
Sir?
This is just to find out what the loan will cost us. So here's a question. I believe Mr. Hankins referred to this before about not binding a future term. On the requested terms here, it's saying something about we're based on a 5-year amortization schedule. How can we do that and tie a future board to that amortization schedule?
Well, what you're doing is you're getting a 2-year note with a balloon, but you'd like your payments to be set as if it was a 5-year note. So you've got a balloon that is due at the end of the 2 years. Then whoever the board is at that time either has a choice to refinance the note for another 2 years or pay it off.
Okay.
And that is kind of the sticking point with some of the lenders, because they don't know what's going to happen, when this comes up in 2 years, when the numbers actually happen. And there's some time constraints there with our years are based on budget years, not based on calendar years or based on election years. So if we start this construction project, and Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, if we start October 1st, we get the full 24 months. If we start November 1st, we only get 23 months. Does that make sense? And so
That's correct.
That's the way it works, because it's finances are all tied to the budget year. So what we're shooting for is we have to wait 10 days, I believe, 10 days before we can take action on doing anything. Is that right?
Well, the RFPs were due back to me on the September the 8th, and I have proposed that we have an opening of the proposals on a September the 11th, which would be our next board meeting.
If we can change it now.
You can change it. Yeah.
So And I'll tell you, for my 2 cents worth, and this is my opinion, period, we can squeeze the budget, and we can squeeze the budget, and we can squeeze the budget. We're not going to squeeze that much out of the budget. One of the ways to make our hospital successful would be to increase revenue. And to increase revenue, we're going to have more doctors, we're going to have to offer more services, we're going to have to do some other things like that. And so there's a trade-off with, do we invest $166,000 and then over the 5-year period, hopefully get more than that back? And so, there's no seats in the auditorium, and so we know what the maximum is we can do because we're out of space. I think we need to do more space planning than this, but I think this is the first step in trying to figure out a way how to increase our revenue so that our bottom line gets a whole lot lighter than it is red. Can we do that in the next 90 days? I don't think so. But can we have some sort of 5-year plan or 3-year plan or whatever long-term goal to increase our revenues to help offset our loss in dependency on tax?
So you've already put this out, we're just waiting on people to bid?
Correct.
So do we have any action to take here, or just?
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any action to take here. I just think that the consensus with the building committee was to make sure that the entire board was involved, and I didn't want people to feel like that me and Eugene and Brett had conspired to, go borrow $167,000 and build the secret doctor's office at the hospital. I wanted this to be as involved as it could be, and to have y'all's input as to the direction we're going. And, just personally, I don't know that committees ought to be off running, changing anything. I think it all should be board actions, and so that's just my opinion. But I guess what I'm saying is we've let the cat out of the bag. We're just making sure that the rest of y'all aren't mad at us.
I was under the impression this was on the agenda for ratification. Is I'm mistaken?
If you want to approve the RFP, I think that is entirely appropriate to approve the request for proposal.
Yeah, that was somewhere, I got that information, I forgot where, but that basically the go-ahead was given by the committee, and it was going to be ratified, and it was going to be done last week, but last week got canceled. So,
Right. Well, in that case, would somebody like to make a motion that we ratify the request for an RFP for the funds to build a new doctor's office? So we have a motion from John. Do we have a second? Brett seconds. Is there any more discussion? In that case, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? 7-1. All declines.